So it's been a little while since I actually got out and recorded much of anything, but I decided to take a little bit of a trip today. Not very far, just drove an hour south down to Bandon, and now I am at the Oregon Islands National Wildlife Refuge. So I've been down, I think I've been here before, one of the first times I came out to the coast, but yeah, it's been quite a while. It's very windy, there's a lot of wave action going on right now, but I'm gonna try and hang out for a little bit and just tide pool once it gets a little bit lower. Obviously I won't go anywhere near the surf right now, but right now I am at the Face Rock viewpoint, and there it is out there. I don't know if I actually recognized it when I was out here the first time, but it's definitely a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I figured it was a smaller rock, but no, it's a big old sea stack, and you can see the outline of the face, how it's kind of looking up that way. But yeah, it's really cool. It's not raining today. Pretty windy, but temperatures around 50 degrees, so it's pretty manageable. I think I'll be down here for pretty much all day, and then I'll head back up to Reedsport as it gets dark. But yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out a little bit different area. I've got to remember to come out here more often. Maybe not necessarily this far south, but at least get to the beach more often, because I'm not sure how much of it is going to close down once the snowy plover season comes up in March. I know that there's quite a few areas that are going to close down and not be accessible anymore to make sure that the seabirds are safe, which is good, and I support that obviously, but just got to remember that I won't have access to it. So yeah, here's one of the signs talking about the plover nesting area. Once mid-March rolls around, a lot of this won't be accessible anymore, but it's good for the birds. It'd be really cool to see them sometime, but I won't go out deliberately in search of them, at least not by myself. If I go out for a research crew with the South Slough or something, then that'd be different. But yeah, I'm gonna keep working my way back north. There's a couple other day use areas that I'm gonna stop at, check out, and then in about an hour I plan on being up at the Oregon Islands overlook area, and I'll spend that last hour before low tide pooling over there. So I think it'll work out pretty well, and then after that I'll start working my way back north up the Seven Devils Road, check out a few of the beaches along there. You can really see the Scotch broom on the green areas. It's blooming that yellow flower. That's another invasive species out here. I think I've pointed out a couple times. This European beach grass is what is holding this dune, this foredune here, and they just applied some herbicides here. This has been out here for basically as long as the Europeans have, and so this is messing up some of the dune ecosystem. It holds together this foredune, which some other plants benefit from, but it's definitely bad for species like the snowy plover, because they need open sand to hide their nests and everything. That's just where their habitat is. So this being dominated by the grass is not helpful to them, and it makes them stick out more, and it's not good for it. And then the Scotch broom kind of does a similar thing, and also allows the trees to come up closer to the shore, which they're not supposed to do. It's supposed to be a larger open dune area, but that's about the extent of my knowledge on it. It'd be really cool to work on some removal of that, but there's only so much you can do. Oh my gosh, my hair keeps blowing in my face, and I'm trying not to choke on it as I'm walking out here. I'm down in Devil's Kitchen now. I want to cross the stream here, but there's no real good spot to do it. I do have my my waders, my deeper boots, but I don't have them on right now. I left them in the car. I figured it was going to be a little bit calmer down here, but that's all right. I'll just walk around for a little bit. Might head over this way. Don't want to head too far because then I just start heading back towards the main overlook area. It's really cool though. There's probably some really good rock hounding on this beach. I already found this. I don't think it's an agate. I'm so bad at identifying agates. It does have a little bit of kind of a banding on the top, but I don't see a lot of the layering that I'm used to with them, so I'm gonna leave it here anyway. So if someone else finds it, lucky them. This nodule here, I mean, I'm no geologist, but that makes me think of, oh, what are they? The amniotes? Something like that. The Nautilus fossils that you find somewhere. Usually those are in shale, which I think this is all igneous. So unlikely, but that distinct shape coming out of there, there's definitely that's some sort of inclusion in this larger rock because it's not weathering the same way. So I wonder if it is ammonite. That's what I was trying to say. Might be an ammonite in there. Wonder if anyone will ever actually try and crack it open someday. On these sea stacks over here, you can see quite a few more anemone and the starfish clinging on. Can't get too close because a lot of these currents are ripping through here, but there's a little bit that I can see. The wind really isn't helping. It's pushing the waves a little further on shore. This area probably doesn't have it too bad because it's kind of perpendicular to it. It'll stop it a little bit further, but maybe not. But anyway, might start heading over to the main area now. It looked like a better viewpoint for a lot of the beach. Is that a dog? That's a dog. It looked very big for a second. There were some horses that were over here, so that's one of the things that is surprising to me. There's so much horse access to the beaches here. I feel like we don't get that a lot on the Great Lakes. I just found a tiny little rock crab. Oh, not a rock crab, I forget what these are. Don't have my tide sheet with me. Thought I saw him move earlier when I nearly stepped on him, but I think he's just hanging out. Well, I was just out on this little sea stack here. There were some people that were up top. Not gonna go do that because it's way too windy. In fact, I just lost my hat, so I'm gonna see if it can eventually wash up on shore over here. So it'd be really a bummer if I didn't have that anymore. Okay, well, I got it. I got a little soaked in the process, and then immediately after a big old surge came up, so it probably would have just washed it up anyway, but whatever. Gonna head back to the car, put this in the back seat so it can dry out, and then I'm gonna head up to the main area and actually try and tide pool a little bit there. And there I'm gonna put on my deeper boots just in case, and give these shoes a chance to dry out too. So at least that worked out well enough. It's pretty wild over in this section. There's a lot of wave action happening just over there, and you can see the waves just punching through this gap here. When it was a little bit higher, oh yeah, there it is. It crashes through both sides of that tunnel. So I can catch like a little bit of the mist while it's hanging in the air still. But yeah, that's that's pretty cool. Well, it took a little searching, but now I found at least a half decent tide pool area here. It's blocked by the wind. I'm sure the wind is just not helping with all the tide pools. It's probably satiating a lot of them and moving the sand around a lot faster than it normally would. But here, it's pretty calm. And the sand here is actually pretty bare, so I can walk around in my boots a little bit without having to worry too much. Just gotta watch out for the hermit crabs and everybody. But yeah, there's some big old anemones in here, some starfish. Hopefully I can kind of just look around for a little while, see who's hanging out. Lots of anemones over in this one. They're all hanging out here. This one's a little further up and blocked by the wind, but yeah, I might try and look out on those further areas. There were a lot of starfish hanging out over there, but it's just so dang windy that you can't even see into the water very well because it's so ripply. Here you can at least see a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna head any further north. This area is pretty well soaked. A lot of the swells keep kind of pushing their way up here, so I don't want to hang out in there too much. I'm gonna head back over to the main area, look around for a little bit. Probably not gonna see much of anything different. I'll just have to keep this place in the back pocket if I want to come back out here on a day where it's just a little bit less windy. I mean, the waves, you can only do so much about that, but the wind is just making it so much harder for me to see anything on the surface. My hair keeps getting in my eyes. So a day that doesn't have 25-mile-an-hour sustained winds would probably be better for coming back out here. So I'll keep that in the back pocket. At least I got to see the waves crashing up against the rocks, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I went back to the nice big tide pool that I was in earlier where it wasn't horribly windy. Whew, I'm lightheaded because I just was bending over. And I found a tiny little nudibranch right there. I thought it was just like a piece of algae, but I can see it actually has a little plume. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get a good macro shot of it, but I'm gonna try and get some pictures on my phone at least. I'm so happy I came back here because he's just a itty bitty little guy. I've been looking for one of the brightly colored ones, but I mean, odds of finding those are pretty slim anyway. But at least I found this little guy. What a little cutie. I want to find more of those nudibranchs out here. I'd really love to set up my GoPro to do like a short time lapse of them, but I don't have a good enough waterproof housing to trust leaving it underwater for long enough. But that little baby down here, heading a little bit further down, I got a couple videos and a few pictures on my phone, so I'll see if I can format those to be on the video. What I could see on iNaturalist was that it was a Nanaimo-dorid, pretty small, and I didn't get to check the range on where they normally are, but that's what it suggested to me, so I'll go with that. But yeah, that was really sweet. I'm gonna have to remember that that was about the size that I was looking for. I've seen other ones on people's videos that were bigger, a lot more noticeable, but I'll have to remember that that is at least the size that I experienced, and I'll try and keep in mind this rough habitat area, so I'll try and keep a closer eye out when I head to other places. But very happy I saw that little baby. I'm sure on less wavy days these would make for amazing tide pools, but I can't do much about it right now. So I'm gonna kind of skirt along these areas here, see if there's any other areas that seem to have that pink bryophyte growing, but probably not. Probably just gonna head back to the car soon. Yeah, getting pretty close to the lowest part of the tide. It's like 225 right now. I think the bottom of low tide is 234, so waves are about as far away as they'll get. There's not a lot of other good tide pooling areas that I can see. There might be some further up over there, but I'm not gonna bother head out that far. That's all right. I don't think I'm gonna see anything that's better than that little Dorid. That made my day. That was pretty nice. That was worth losing my hat in the water and having to deal with my hair whipping in my face. But anyway, I think that's gonna be it. I do plan on taking the Seven Devils Road and trying to see some of the other beaches further up along the way. I might grab some lunch here in town and then cruise up there. I also want to head back to the Coquille Lighthouse. I hope they're still open because I like the little shop they have there. And it's just a cool lighthouse. I haven't been there in a while. But yeah, I think that'll be it for Oregon Islands. I really hope I can come back down here sometime. I'll try and keep a better eye on the wave action next time. See, according to this sign here, there's quite a lot going on usually, but I think conditions today signify it's a little bit harder to see most of it. See, I'm looking for one of those sometime, the opalescent nudibranchs. Those guys are really cool. They've got like a big old mustache on the front of them with their long antennae. I think those are the antennae, not the rhinophores. And then this is kind of closer to what I saw today. Ah, man. I'll keep looking and hopefully I'll be able to find more of them as I go on. I'm on the south side of the jetty now. There's the Coquille Lighthouse. There's some surf scoters out here, and I only know that's what they are because they were one of the birds that I saw on my little birding trip I did with the South Slough a month or so ago. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to catch the lighthouse before it closes. But if not, oh well, I've been there a couple times. But yeah, gonna head into town, probably quick grab some lunch, and then swing out there, and then keep pushing north. Well, I grabbed some lunch at the Bandon Fish Market, and that's sitting in the car right now. Now I'm at the Coquille Lighthouse. Just wanted to quick get out here to check and see if the shop was open. And as far as I can tell, it does not look like it. They might have the door shut for the wind, but I'll get up there and check to make sure. It'd be a bummer if it's not, because I think the last time I came out here was with my parents when I was going back in 2024. And I don't think it was open then either. So it's been a while since I've been able to go inside. I see, I didn't catch that part until just now. So not sure when it opens up, probably not until spring, I would assume. But oh well, I'll have to remember that for next time. Who knows if I'll even be out here when this opens back up again, but I hope so. I hope I get to spend a couple more months out here, with the only caveat being I get a really good job somewhere, and then I'd love to go and jump into that, but bit of a waiting game with that naturally. So I think from here I'm gonna head back to the car and keep heading north. I remember going through these tide pools one time. I don't think I recorded it then, but maybe I did. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. It's too windy. Don't want to get knocked around too much. But anyway, glad I at least got to stop out here and see it again. So I just made it to Whiskey Run Beach, which is one of the stops along the way up here. I'll head down to the beach in a little second, but I just wanted to show off this. I was wondering what it was when I was coming out here, and I had a pretty good hunch, and it turned out to be correct. All of this stuff blooming with that bright yellow flower is gorse, which is also related to the Scotch broom, which is also, both of those are from Europe and are invasive species. And this whole drive all the way through this section of the dunes, like all over the golf course, the huge golf course, Bandon Dunes to the south here, it's just everywhere. It's so crazy all over the place. I don't know if I've ever seen such a widespread dominant invasive species. So I wonder if they're doing any management around here. I wonder if they even can do anything. It's wild. Another thing about this section is you can see the tire tracks here. You can actually take your vehicles on the beach. There were some rules and stipulations for it, but I think someone took their vehicle down there. I can barely see it. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't need to. It's going to get dark soon, and I've got a couple other stops that I want to make. But one of these days, I really do want to head to a place like this and just go out for a little bit. I mean, this is pretty hard-packed sand. I would just have to make sure that I double check what it recommends for letting the tire pressure out, and I'd have to make sure that I have my my tire pump with me, which I usually do, but I haven't had to use it in a while. But anyway, I'd want to check and make sure. But it'd be really cool to take my vehicle on the beach just to say that I've done it. I wouldn't even get anywhere near the open water, especially on a day like today. But yeah, it'd be really cool just to have that experience. You can see even more of the gorse here, just all over. It's pretty looking, but man, is it sad to know that that's all just invasive. See, I just drove out of the parking area at Whiskey Run Beach, and all of it is all this gorse. Just completely dominates the landscape. Covers every single open area. I mean, even like the sand on the edges of the road, that most of that isn't sand, it's just dead gorse. Probably a duff layer a couple inches thick, and then it only finally starts to break up a little bit once you get into the trees. And even still, it's still there. It might not be flowering as much. But man, that is so crazy to me. It's really sad to see that it's so established here. So now I am at Merchants Beach, also known as Seven Devils Day Use Area. And about more of the same. There's still a couple rocks that are way out there. Those are the rocks that I think were just to the north of where I was at Whiskey Run. So they're probably about halfway between this beach and Whiskey Run. And then Agate Beach is a little bit further up, and then somewhere up there eventually is Cape Arago. Can't really tell exactly. It doesn't look quite bluffy enough from what I can see, so it might be further along, hidden by the mist. But keep pushing on. I really want to get out and check out Agate Beach, see if it is a little bit rockier. It might catch more of those larger stones. It'd be cool to check that out while I still got a little bit of sunlight. I'm not going to head down to the beach here. It looks about more of the same. It's pretty, but I'll come back out here another time maybe. I guess I'll mention it while I'm here. That really rich orange layer in the soil, I could be wrong about this, but I would assume that that is probably about the same geological layer as the gold cliffs down in Redwoods where I camped, and it was way up higher on the cliff above us, or above me at the campsite. But it looks just about the same. I'm sure in the lighting it would be a brighter goldish yellow, but I don't get to see that too much around here. And I think over at Cape Arago you can see it a little bit because it's got the really high bluffs right on the water. But yeah, that's another place that I want to go back to and camp at sometime, but maybe not this year, maybe sometime much later in the future. So I did go past Agate Beach, but apparently the only access road is not public. It explicitly said there was no public beach access, so couldn't go there. Now I'm just taking the rest of Seven Devils Road, which I had driven a part of before, once, but I did not do the actual Seven Devils portion, which is named so because it was so windy and steep. So that's what I'm on right now. It's not bad. I mean, it's just kind of narrow in a couple spots, but I mean, I have driven so much worse on the Klamath. So I'll just be cruising along here. I don't think there's going to be any stops between here and once I join back up with the main road, which is the Cape Arago Highway. So might head out there once I get to that point, but right now it's just kind of cruising down this windy section. I did make it out to Cape Arago. It's getting pretty dark now. It's right around sunset. Clouds are pretty thick over the water, so figured I'd just pop out for a quick second, get a look down onto the rocks for a little bit. But from here, I don't have any other stops. I'm just gonna go and get some groceries and stuff I need to pick up. Haven't seen any whale spouts or anything. I doubt I will, so not worth sticking around for that. Is this further out? I don't remember that being quite that far out the last time I was here, but I don't know, must be. Anyway, I think that's gonna be it for today. It was a good little trip. It definitely was made a lot more worthwhile because of that little Dorid that I found. I am very happy that I saw that. I really hope I get to see more of those in the future. But other than that, pretty good day.